And now it looks like it's starting to happen. And I think that this is probably going to strike fear into the hearts of corrupt cops around America, which, is generally a good thing, and is going to give some wind to the back of those police officers in this country who are, good people committed to doing a good job and would like to see the bad apples flushed out of their particular police forces and would like to see policing reformed in a way that actually helps them do their job appropriately. So here's the story. This is, the four cops basically that murdered George Floyd. One of them has been convicted of murder now, Derek Chauvin. But there's three others. One kind of stood guard while the other two sat on George Floyd as Chauvin was choking him to death. And the Justice Department now has convened a federal grand jury. That federal grand jury has indicted these three cops for, violating George Floyd's civil rights. They're going after two of the cops, Kung and Tao, for basically sitting on him. And then third one, Thomas Lane, for not rendering aid. He was the lookout guy. When it was obvious that George Floyd, when he had died, basically, he still could have been revived. And they just all stood around and let him be there dead. So let's hope that we're turning a positive page in the history of American policing with this decision by the Justice Department, by Merrick Garland's new Justice Department. And welcome back. Kenyatta in Los Angeles. Hey, Kenyatta, what's on your mind today?
Hujambo, brother.
Okay, what's that? What is that? In what language?
Hujambo is hello in Swahili.
Aha! I always heard it as jumbo, or okay. Got it.
Hujambo. Anyways,
yeah.
You had a very interesting conversation in your second hour. I just wanted to anecdotally speak on this with a caller who you had used the term, there are mutable facts and immutable facts. Those immutable truths and mutable truths. Immutable truths are called facts, Tom. And
there you go.
And so there's no discussion there. That segues into your commentary earlier about these four officers that have now been indicted with regard to the civil rights of George Floyd. Civil rights really only matter when you're alive. George Floyd is dead. And though I understand the sentiment behind it, it kind of reeks to me. And then lastly, I wanted to say this to you, Tom, with regard to police reform. There can be no police reform. That's kind of a sleight of hand to me, unless there is judiciary and court reform. You see, cops get their cues, and there's a triumvirate in law and the judiciary, criminal judiciary anyway, of corrections, law enforcement, and the judiciary. Law enforcement and corrections get their cues from the judiciary. There were cameras there when George Floyd was brutally murdered over 9 minutes. There are no cameras in the courtroom unless the judge says so. That's where the real dirt goes down. And so if we're going to be honest about police reform, we need to be looking at this holistically.
Yep. That makes so much perfect sense, Kenyatta, and I'm totally with you. And let's get cameras inside these courtrooms as well. I think we need to have cameras in the Supreme Court, too. But spot on. Very well said. Thank you.